Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into why Sweden, long known for its neutrality, is now being referred to by some analysts as a Kremlin killer, and why this shift could terrify Vladimir Putin more than NATO itself. Sweden's defense policy has undergone a remarkable transformation in response to Russia's actions in Ukraine and the growing security threats in Europe. For decades, Sweden maintained a posture of neutrality, carefully balancing its relationships with neighboring powers. It avoided aligning fully with military alliances while ensuring its own security. However, Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed that dynamic. The conflict exposed how modern long-range missiles, drones, and rapid strike capabilities can threaten nations far beyond conventional front lines. Sweden realized that maintaining the status quo was no longer an option. Recently, Sweden's armed forces submitted a report recommending the acquisition of long-range strike systems, including cruise and ballistic missiles with ranges up to 2,000 kilometers. This is a major shift in capability. Such missiles would allow Sweden to hit targets far beyond its own borders, potentially even deep inside Russia. These are not defensive weapons alone. They provide the option to project force in a way that was previously unimaginable for a country of Sweden's size and traditional stance. Sweden has already acquired Swedish, German Taurus cruise missiles for its Gripen fighter jets with a range of about 500 kilometers, but the new request for 2,000-kilometer range systems represents a strategic leap. It moves Sweden from a posture focused on territorial defense to one that can execute deep strikes against high-altitude targets. Military analysts note that this kind of capability fundamentally changes the strategic calculus in Northern Europe. The motivation is clear: Sweden needs to deter an increasingly aggressive Russia. The combination of long-range missiles, drones, and surveillance capabilities gives Sweden a credible threat that any potential adversary would have to consider. Swedish Defense Minister Pål Jonson has emphasized that these weapons are intended to strengthen deterrence and ensure that Sweden can respond effectively to modern threats. From Moscow's perspective, this development is deeply concerning. Sweden, once a neutral nation, could now pose a direct threat to Russian military infrastructure, command centers, and other critical targets far from the front lines. The psychological impact is significant. Even the potential for deep strike capability forces Russia to reconsider its military planning and strategy in the region. This is why some analysts call Sweden a Kremlin killer. The term does not imply immediate aggression, but reflects the strategic leverage Sweden gains from having the ability to threaten vital Russian targets. The uncertainty created by such capabilities can be more unsettling than conventional NATO deployments because it changes the rules of the game and introduces an element of unpredictability into strategic calculations. The risks, however, are real. Developing and deploying long-range strike capabilities raises the stakes in the region. While intended as a deterrent, these weapons could provoke countermeasures from Russia, such as increased militarization, missile deployments, or more aggressive posture. This creates a delicate balance between deterrence and escalation. Sweden's shift also involves more than just buying weapons. Effective use of these systems requires enhanced intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and early warning networks. Sweden's military report emphasizes improving air defense, integrating drones and satellite data, and building a total defense capability that ensures any strike option is backed by accurate information. This comprehensive approach makes Sweden's potential deep strike capabilities more credible. The broader strategic implications are significant. Sweden is no longer just a supporting NATO partner or a neutral observer. Its military evolution signals a redefinition of Europe's security landscape. Countries previously considered peripheral in strategic terms may now play pivotal roles in deterrence and defense. This reconfiguration could influence other nations near large, assertive powers to reconsider their own defense postures. For Putin, Sweden's potential as a deep strike threat presents a psychological and strategic challenge. Unlike conventional NATO troop movements, which are visible and predictable, Sweden's emerging capabilities introduce uncertainty. That uncertainty forces Russia to plan for scenarios that were previously unlikely, potentially stretching resources and complicating defense calculations. Sweden's transformation from a neutral, defense-focused nation to a country capable of deep strike operations exemplifies how modern conflicts are reshaping European security. The war in Ukraine has highlighted the importance of credible deterrence, and Sweden is moving decisively to ensure it can meet modern threats. Whether this strategy will succeed in deterring aggression or provoke a dangerous escalation remains uncertain. Its effectiveness depends on how these capabilities are integrated into broader defense doctrine, alliance coordination, and political strategy. Transparent communication, disciplined planning, and credible deterrence are critical to preventing miscalculations. Even without firing a single missile, Sweden's potential to strike deep inside Russian territory already alters strategic thinking. It sends a clear signal to Russia and other regional actors that Sweden is prepared to defend itself and project power if necessary. This change has both practical and psychological impact, reinforcing Sweden's position in European security. In conclusion, Sweden's shift represents a bold and calculated response to an evolving security environment. By acquiring long-range strike capabilities, Sweden has moved from passive defense to active deterrence, altering the strategic balance in Northern Europe. This transformation may terrify Putin in more than traditional NATO maneuvers because it introduces unpredictability, strategic leverage, and credible threat potential. Sweden's Kremlin Killer posture reflects the changing realities of modern European security and the complexities of deterrence in the 21st century.